morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee ready to go, locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have some very important news to talk about. Maybe not so good, because the crypto market is red, deep in the red once again. Bear market feeling coming up once again, and many are asking why. Why is this happening? And we are going to talk about this. We are going to talk about how the markets look from a technical perspective. We are going to look at Bitcoin. We are going to look at, for sure, at the NASDAQ, at the correlation is high, and the audio is low. I have not moved any settings, but let me see if I can. Yeah, it seems to be low.
Let me try to fix that here. So is this better now? Let me know in the chat if this is better now. Anyways, so we are talking about all of that. Your audio is messed up really quiet. Let me know if it got better now, because from my system here it seems okay, audio's better. So there was a little sound bar attached to it, apparently via Bluetooth. So okay, better. So we're going to talk about all of that after the intro. Okay, so once more, good morning, everyone. I hope you got your coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, as I have. I hope you are all right. It's a freaking Friday. For me, it's still holiday time, but many of you are heading out into work or have come back from work, and now it's evening, depending on where you are on the world. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button right now, so we can get more people into the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. If you are interested in these live streams, tick the little bell to always get notified. And I especially want to thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons here behind me, for always supporting me as channel members. So if you want to become a channel member, you also get your name and mint number there on the screen behind me, like all the others. I really appreciate that if you do that. If you want to support in a free way, then the like is the most important one, and after the stream the comment is the most important one to help this channel to grow. But anyways, so as I said, with unfortunately low audio in the beginning of the stream, the market is deep in the red, and we want to talk about why. And also what could be happening, what is going on. So maybe let me start with Mr. Jerome Powell himself, and then we talk about it. So here we go. I will just mute myself so you don't have a double echo, and we'll listen to this. It's just a minute long.
To begin, a soft landing is a primary objective, and I did not say otherwise.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's what we've been trying to achieve for all this time. The real point, though, is the worst thing we can do is to fail to restore price stability, because the record is clear on that. If you don't restore price stability, inflation comes back, and you go through, you can have a long period where the economy is just very uncertain, and it'll affect growth, it'll affect all kinds of things. It can be a miserable period to have inflation constantly coming back and the Fed coming in and having to tighten again and again. So the best thing we can do for everyone, we believe, is to restore price stability. I think now, today, we actually, we have the ability to be careful at this point and move carefully, and that's what we're planning to do. So we fully appreciate the benefits of being able to continue what we see already, which is rebalancing in the labor market and inflation coming down without seeing an important, large increase in unemployment, which has been typical of other tightening cycles.
Okay, so I think what made the markets go red is exactly that statement here in the beginning, where he says, or better, in the beginning, before that, he has been sounding like if soft landing is not an option anymore. But what made the markets uncertain is that he was saying, yes, soft landing was always the option, and then he says we are trying to achieve price stability, and that he basically is frustrated when inflation is always coming back, and then the Fed has go in to tighten. So he is not only hawkish, he's uncertain about if it will work. And markets hate uncertainty. They hate uncertainty so much. So this is the reason, in my opinion, why we are seeing the red market overall, and why crypto is red. So I wanted to let him talk first, but obviously we have our articles as well. So we have seen the rate hike decline, or basically we've seen the Fed maintain the rate stable as we have predicted, as the FOMC watch tool has predicted, and as we have talked about on this channel. But they are pointing to staying higher for longer, which is probably, as we also predict, until the entire year 2023, so the remaining 3 months plus the first months of the next year, rate stability plus the potential, the option of another rate hike. So we see here also indicating it still expects more hike before the end of the year and fewer cuts than previously indicated next year. So we will see about this, but probably if they do another hike, that is more likely than not the last one. And I think that's where the market gets their uncertainty. Markets hate even bad news. Even if they get bad news, that's better than uncertainty. So that's why we are red in at the moment. So Fed Chair Powell says he won't forecast a soft landing anymore. This is not entirely true. This was the breaking news before. He says they are still trying to get that, and we are talking about this, how this looks at the moment, and if there will be a hard landing or a soft landing, right? So we had him talk, but I looked this up here a little bit from an economy article. I think that was a pretty good summary. And if we go here to soft landing, what does it really mean, right? It says, opposite of hard landing comes from the world aviation, where it is applied to landings of aircraft, hot air balloons, gliders, and even spacecrafts. If the Fed raises interest rates too quickly or by too much, it may result in a hard landing. But if the Fed raises interest rates slowly by a moderate amount, that often results in a soft landing. As we can see here, slow growth, flat growth is soft landing. Recession would be a hard landing, right? Now, is it that we are not going into a recession? No, they're talking about a mild recession. But what Fed Chair Powell in this video also referred to is that the labor market is still good while they have done all this rate hiking. So right now we are still on course of a soft landing. And let's look at so here we see the rate hikes, or the rates have been way higher in the past, as we can see here in these charts, and the gray bars, the gray areas are the recessions. So usually, as you can see, the recessions only followed basically the period of hiking and then going flat. So when we are already in the recession, that's when the rate hiking is already over, and then against the recession they are printing the money. Now here is historical example of soft landings, right? It's not that the Fed is trying to achieve the impossible. On the contrary, we can see here that exactly what we are seeing as symptoms right now in the labor market has led to soft landings before. So 64 in October, the federal fund rate was 3.4%. By November in 1966, 2 years later, it was 5.8%. So they have been hiking 2.4% overall. However, during the period, the unemployment rate has declined from 5.1 to 3.6%. So we see here that not always a rate hike has to coincide with high unemployment rates, as some people claim. And then 84, the same, 9.6 to 11.6. That was a 2% rate hike by August. However, unemployment dropped 7.8 to 7.5. And then 93, also 3 to 6%, a 3% rate hike. However, in the same period, unemployment dropped from 6.5 to 5.8%. So not raging unemployment rates there for these three 2-year rate hiking cycles. However, we have to keep in mind we went from basically 0 to 5.25 to potentially 5.5 over the course of a little bit more than a year. It will be 2 years in the end, I think, with maintaining rates stable and a strong labor market. So we would see this would be the biggest rate hike soft landing that there is, but this is also why they are not sure if it will happen. And if we see anything and oil prices and stuff like that not helping at all, as we've been discussing before, not helping at all. Oil price is completely skyrocketing, and that obviously doesn't help inflation to cool down. But at the moment that this turns around, I think it will help, and that is, I think now, if we see that inflation is going stable, because we have seen core inflation being at a more stable rate. So if we look, I think it's in this article, yeah, there we go. This is the federal funds rate, and core inflation has been at 4.3%. I don't know if it's in here. Yeah, so here are the increases over time of the funds rate, and we see already we had our first pause, then we had a hike, now we have another pause. So we see that this is running out of steam, right? They are very careful right now because of these high energy prices that are also driving inflation. And we can see here we had already a rate hiking in our previous bear market, and then the rate dropped to 0. And now I think when we have rate stability and then cuts, I think the markets will explode, right? Speaking of which, I mean, we also have to see that the narrative always changed for the Fed, and this will be the last part of going over the Fed stuff, and then we go into more Bitcoin, altcoins, Ecomi, Veve stuff. But here we see it, 1st of May, inflation is transitory, right? Then inflation may not be transitory in December, and then inflation should fall to 2.5%. Inflation should fall to 4.3 in December 22, where we are actually almost 1 year later at these rates right now. Inflation will hit 3.5% in December. They stated in this January, and now July, inflation will hit 2.5 in December 2024. Now inflation won't hit 2% after 2025. And we see here core CPI inflation now stands at 4.3%, has been above 4% for 27 months straight. So not too good on the predictions of the Fed here, which is also why the markets are very uncertain if Fed Chair Powell is starting to move or shift the narrative. Yeah, and then also keep in mind that the US has to service an immense amount of debt, which is the catalyst for us not staying in rate hiking forever. In fact, they will cut the rates at some point, because they will have to service this $33 trillion debt, and this will this will not be by cut spending. This will be by money printer, right? Speaking of which, there's this immense risk over the long haul that things are going like this here, like Turkey's central bank hikes interest rate to 30%. Just to show you that some countries are in the state of monetary collapse. We have seen it in Argentina already, where the rate is at 108%, and they failed to pay the debt. So there are countries that are horrible. I think it takes a longer time for the US to reach that state, but ultimately I think every fiat currency is going to reach that stake. What we see here. So, hey, all of you in the chat that have been coming in right now, guys, make sure to smash off the like button if you like this morning analysis. It's a Friday. From what history shows, we usually have a big drop in risk assets shortly after rates start getting cut, but you never know. I think this has, even if we get another hike and we have already the pause, I think it has already started, what you're saying. And I'm going to go into the, and maybe we can look at this right now, because I mean, the NASDAQ is a good indicator. So we are quickly jumping into this, but then there's a little bit more that I want to show you regarding crypto. But let's look at the NASDAQ here. So we had this mega uptrend, right, on the NASDAQ, and then we dropped out of this, tried to recover, basically bearishly retesting this trend line here, and there's major confluence on this line right now that we have drawn in a couple of weeks ago, right? When this drop happened, we drew in this line. So I think this is exactly what you were saying, that that there could be a drop. And if we look, I drew this in yesterday because I looked at the NASDAQ before the stream, and I mean, this could be happening, right? So this major drop could be happening and coinciding, right, with what you're saying, like the Fed pauses, maybe rate cuts, and so on. So yeah, this we could, when the rate cut comes, we could see another big correction. It's not out of the cards at all. Just to show you this here, and then this would result probably in a back test on this moving average or something like that, which is right here, and this would be a major collapse. I mean, if the NASDAQ would come down 8% to 10%, this could happen, right? The economy, the entire economy, the bigger markets, they could see one more collapse. This doesn't mean that Bitcoin puts in a new low, but it could certainly mean that Bitcoin puts in another local low, which is going to shake out a lot of people still, because they will be thinking that the cycle is not coming back, everything going to shit. And you guys are not these guys, right? So, hey, Blaze, what is going on? Good morning. How are you doing? So maybe we let this a little bit for later. I had one thing about the bear market. Let me just see. Yeah, here we go. So I had found this about the bear market. We have been in the longest bear market in Bitcoin's history, according to this indicator, obviously. And let me just get my face a little bit to the side so you see the entire chart. So there we go. The accumulation this cycle has been long. This could potentially mean the bull market will outperform everyone's expectation. And I think there's truth in this, although look at this, the previous bear market was like the earliest bear market, that is a full bear market, was 386 days with a year-over-year negative, right? So whenever price action was year-over-year in a negative, that's the measurement here. So obviously from a charting perspective, as if you look at this bear market, for example, we have been in a bear market since that top, basically, right? Then a lower low, and that's all bear market. This indicator doesn't calculate the bear market like this. This indicator calculates basically the bear market trough, the bear market bottom, when prices are negative year over year, versus when prices are positive year over year, right? And then the percentage change year over year is basically what defines the line. So as you can see here, also in crypto, most of the volume you are in positive, but long periods of shakeout and price action where people are basically losing faith, right? And here we see it. It was only prior to our last bull market, it was only 204 days in a net negative. So a very smooth and by money printer driven bear market that we saw there. And then and by the way, this was also a rate hiking environment here. Now we had harder hikes, and if we come back from that by rate cutting down to zero over the years, crypto is going to be absolutely exploding. It's going to be massive, in my opinion. Crazy Dan says, hey PH, what do you think about keeping around 10% physical gold and silver in an investment portfolio as hedge against black swan event? It depends because I think for silver and gold to be physically usable, we have to basically go into an absolute outright scenario where we do not have even more electricity supply, right? For us, because for you to have silver coins and gold, little gold bars to use, you basically have to reach a state in the economy where the people do not accept any money anymore, right? So where you basically, oh, I want to buy your flat, here's some silver and gold coins, right? So if that happens, I don't know. I mean, is it safe? Maybe. Does it have to be 10%? I don't know about that. So it's a little bit of a prepper mentality, because together with this, if you think that a crash of this magnitude comes, it's not only gold and silver you want to have, but also cans of food and a bunker, and maybe I'm not going to say this on stream, but something to defend yourself, right? Because if a state of this happens and you are the guy with silver and gold coins, you also need to prepare to get raids and looters and so on. And this fear always is around at people when they're looking at mega crises. But I think there is room for growth, and I think they will. I think with the election and everything going on in the US then in the next year, and in overall in Europe, I think they will just prolong, they will extend the mega crash. I think many people believe that the US dollar is already at life cycle end, because macro economists like Ray Dalio are painting a scenario where this happens. But if you read the books, this is like, no one gives a timeline on this. This could be 20, 30 or 50 years out until a reserve currency completely collapses. So it doesn't have to be within a 4-year election cycle necessarily. So back to your question, is it smart to have some? Yeah, I have some couple of grams of gold also, right? Just in case, right? Do you have to have 10% of your portfolio? I don't know, depends on the size of your portfolio probably, and if it's smooth for you to have that, if it's easy for you to have that. I cannot answer that for you, but I think 10% for me, for my personal taste, is too high. I would try to, so for me, I want to prepare as much as I can for the next cycle, as you can see here, right, at the next green cycle where crypto goes into profit, mega run, and convert that into something more stable, right? So for example, let's say you have $10,000 over time that you DCA'd, or even 5,000 or even 1,000, right? That you DCA'd over time, and you 10x that, you take a good amount of that money and put it into something more stable, something more secure of your taste, maybe a couple of percent also in rare metals, as you say. And then go again, rinse, repeat, right? Make sure you benefit on these timelines and use these indicators to DCA when prices are in the gutter. That is my strategy, right? This needs to be in accordance with your financial capabilities. There are people out here, for example, I've been talking to people from India, and they're like DCAing with $10, but $10 can be life-changing for some people in some countries where prices are different, right? But then again, the risk to reward and the risk affinity of these people also has to be adjusted. You have to see how much $10 means, and how much losing $10 versus $100 versus $1,000. For example, losing $10,000 to $20,000 would be painful for me, right? but would not be devastating for me. Now, if there's some people, $10,000 would be end of life for them, right? So I think percentage wise, we can say how much risk do we want to put in a crypto market at when we are in these net negative phases, and then also there's psychology around this, right? So, and this is where I want to get with a couple of these posts here. So this is from Sentiment, always good analysis. Bitcoin's non-whale wallets defined as addresses with under 100 BTC. So you have to see, in order to be considered a Bitcoin whale, you basically need 100 BTC or more in these analyses. They have climbed to new all-time high levels, now owning 41.1% of the available supply. Meanwhile, whales, 100 to 100,000, own 55% of the supply. So you have to see that whales are still sitting on more than half of the entire supply, but the share of the ones that are below this is still growing. There are a lot of people that are becoming whole coiners right now. There are a lot of people that are becoming 0.1 Bitcoin owners, and this usually this pre next bull run explosion, this ratio is growing. I'm also DCAing every week into Bitcoin. I've just put up a savings plan. I don't care if I buy at 24,000 euros or 25,000 euros or 26,000 euros. It's just DCAing a little bit and just increasing a little bit my Bitcoin. Not too much. I'm not like a Bitcoin whale, nor anywhere near, right? And then quickly this here, Tether acquires stake in Bitcoin miner Northern Data. This is a German company, hinting at AI collaboration. So we have talked about this with a Cathie Wood video here on stream a couple of weeks ago, that she sees the AI versus Bitcoin S-curve, let's say power infusion, right? Just to show you that this is really happening, what Cathie Wood sees in the market, that these partnerships and these multi-millions, is rumored that this is a $400 million partnership are happening. Crazy dances. I have lots of legal okay, and ammo cameras was and Rottweilers on the farm, so I'll be ready to fight the zombies. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, then you should be good, right? Then you should be good. No, I don't think that you will need this in the next 1 or 2 years. I think that they will extend the problem. Although feels better if you have a big terrain and what you just said. But yeah. To each how they want to prepare, right, or not prepare. I have to be honest, I'm not worried about such a scenario at the moment, although I would never discard that this can happen. I mean, you see how fast life can change in terms also of security, right? In other countries where you say, okay, things are stable, and next time you are in outright war. So that can always happen, and it would be negligent to say that it can never happen. But also the degree to which you can prepare for such a thing is very. I think you cannot. I mean, if you have such a home base, but for example, if you are living in a flat, you are cut off of everything. You don't have a garden and stuff like that. You cannot prep for such things, right? Hey Jordan, it did not arrive yet, but thank you for sending this over. I think something has arrived, and it has been placed at the station, at the post office. So Jordan here from around Ecomiverse sent a Zorro poster to me, and we will see how this looks. We have to put it somewhere here. I have to get a wall behind me here where I can put this stuff. So yeah, for sending this over from Australia is absolutely nuts, because I'm a big One Piece fan. So he wants to send this over he wanted to send this over for me because I admired the posters that he has behind him on the live streams. So guys, if you don't know Jordan Reese and around the Ecomiverse yet, make sure to check out his stream. guys, just to get this here, cycles still active, right? There's nothing out of the ordinary. We are talking crises, but this is a momentary thing. This could change in a couple of months. Fed going, energy prices lowering, Fed going like, okay, we can be stable now. Then in the beginning, right into the halving, maybe announcing rate cutting, or maybe in summer after the halving. So we are right on track to 150 to 200,000 Bitcoin according to this analysis, right? Here's the message to all the bears. Sure, bad times are coming for the bears, is said here by this analyst. As we can see here, cycle length is a little bit growing. We have a long bear market behind us, almost behind us maybe, as we have seen here. And here we see, right here we see that this channel indicator flipped to green, and we are in this next move up already according to this analysis. This we have already seen. This we can skip for today. Let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, because I think there's something very interesting, and it will also show us where we have our next breakout possibility. So we have been outlining a lot the risk of head and shoulders, right? And I have to quickly get rid of the trading view bug here, but there we go. So we have been outlining a lot the head and shoulders risk. We have been outlining the our massive support here, but here this is still the risk, right? And now this could be a mini shoulder or so in the formation, of course, but more importantly is we have a trend line here in the mid-term. Crazy dancers, don't forget about hitting the like button to support the channel. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yes, I would be really appreciating that. There are over 20 people in here in this morning stream, so please guys, smash up the like button as hard as you can. It really helps the channel to grow like nothing else. I really appreciate that. So here, this yellow, focus on the yellow trend line. No, there are a lot of trend lines, but it's really necessary that we have them. So we have confluence here on this trend line. You see this, right? Not quite, but peaking up here, and now hitting our head once more on this trend line. So what we really have is this downward squeezing move here, and at the same time we have our bottom here, where we basically have a limitation to the downside. We can come back down to 25,000 and retest this, but this trend line is already a strong indication where we try to break out, right? And if we will come back down for, let's say, into the end of September, we could get a hit and breakout here, and this will be a huge move like this one, right? This would be a huge move to break out. Although, and this is where we have to be very careful, and where I'm not a trader, right? I just DCA, I accumulate, and at some point I will be happy about my portfolio. But for the traders, in my opinion, I would see how this plays out, because either we backtest here, we could drop and go short, or you just go on this here and go long on breakout. But I think this is a decision time. This takes time to play out, right? But we are really squeezing in this range at the moment, and this could be a massive move, right? So yeah, I'm curious how this plays out. I mean, this is the daily chart, so we would have really until more than into October theoretically to get this. Even we could have technically this range, right, to get, and then we are like mid-October or so, technically we could consolidate in that range. NASDAQ we have already looked at. Bitcoin dominance is still consolidating sideways. I think it will come up once again, because Bitcoin dominance has been in a huge uptrend. Let's look at Ecomi. So Ecomi, we have been drawing in this our wish for Ecomi has been this, right? That we somehow get this this rounding bottom. So far, so good. We are on track. Let's get this out of our faces, maybe to just see how this looks. But we are still at and around our target here from way back here, where we said that we would expect at least this consolidation to go on. I think this is a very strong and very healthy price move for Ecomi. I think this looks like a very healthy correction, to be honest. Just that we didn't have this before. So if you look at in the bear market, we had also these corrections like this, right? But in the very bear market, we had this, right? We had straight dumps into new lows, and now we are consolidating way above bear market bottom, right? So we are still up from the bear market bottom 47%, and this seems to be, we could still form something like this, right? But this seems to be really rounding out as we want this, and once Bitcoin explodes, probably we are going to head up once more. Hey Jordan, I'm sure it will look good, right? I'm sure it will look good. So yeah, we are now consolidating on top of this mega wick here. So I think what we have in front of us is a very boring price action for Ecomi, and I hate to say it because obviously this stream will be doing way better if we do not have boring price action, if we do have interesting price action, right? But I think that the rest of the September will be super boring unless we get a major black swan scenario and Bitcoin goes to absolute dump, or we have a surprise approval of ETFs, then we go in absolute pump. But I think price action is going to stay boring here. This is still accumulation time for the Ecomi whales, and they have been plenty accumulating here. Also, so does Jordan, who is an Ecomi whale, right? So Jordan must like these prices probably. Let us know how much OMI you have already. Are you still at 220 million, or are you even more? So this is already, I think Jordan is truly in whale territory. There are whales out there that have 1 billion Ecomi or so, but yeah, just wait until this price moves. Mark says bullets will be way more valuable than gold and silver if it hits the fan. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh man, guys preparing for the absolute apocalypse on this channel apparently. We're looking into a bull market, and then we talk apocalypse in the next bear market, as we have talked apocalypse in the last almost 4 years with the sea crisis, right? There were also a lot of apocalypse talks. 220 million OMI. I want more, but the bank says no. ATM. What do you mean the bank says no? Are you trying to get a loan for this, or okay? Guys, please be safe with your leverage, right? You shouldn't be asking for a bank loan to invest into Ecomi, right? And because you could have the situation where things really go sideways in the economy, and then no one cares about altcoins anymore. But nonetheless, Ecomi is a very big chance of going absolute nuts. So we said here, for a cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders pattern, our target would be around 1.7 to 1.8 cents. 0.18 cents would be the first target for the inverse head and shoulder breakout. So this would be the scenario if we would close this, if we would break out here and confirm this as new support, then our target is this, right? But there is a long time, a lot of water under the bridge until this happens. So we are staying confident that Ecomi does not slip here. We have been consolidating on this upwards move. We have been printing a bullish cross. We are looking confident into the future. Jordan says, no loan. Okay, great, great, great. Then mortgage. So don't do this, guys. Don't try this at home, as they said in Jackass. You guys remember Jackass. Okay, so let's look a little bit at Veve, which is still the backbone of the Ecomi token, right? So there's a lot going on because I have not done streams for 2 days. So let's look at this. So first of all, the Features Series 1 collaboration features 4 Veve digital collectible artist collaborations available via promo code redemption. So apparently it's becoming real with Brockmac Blockchain's Features and the correlation with Veve, or the collaboration with Veve. Then, which we have seen are interoperable with the Veveverse. So there are guys that are interested in the Features. I've never bought the Features, although I like the project. So I have nothing against the project. In fact, I think it is always great if there are such collaborations. However, keep in mind that this is not like big license collectible or something else, right? Hey fam, the team is aware of an issue with point attribution from Ecomi deposits and working on a resolution. So there's something going on with the master collector points that are coming from Ecomi. They are aware, they are going to fix it. We like that. We also like the Features. Then today, there is this Aladdin drop, but you also can win this from the sweepstakes. So let's look quickly. Where is the video here? Okay, apparently I love NY. This is interesting. Does that mean that they are going to a New York convention? Yeah, I think that means a New York Comic Con, right? So apparently Veve is confirmed on this. This is also great. But where's the trailer for? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's the trailer for the Aladdin drop. So I think the animations are really, really good on this genie. Price point is 40 gems, and you get this pencil drop. And yeah, so the ultra rare is unfortunately a static Aladdin, and there is a static Jasmine secret rare. And then this pen, obviously, that is meant for this desk, but for the Disney animation desk. Yeah, I was hoping that at some point you get, I don't know, like a animated Aladdin. I think I really like this drop, so probably going for it. Don't know yet. But yeah, also I have been buying. I bought something on the market, but what was it? I think I bought. Oh yeah, I bought the Avengers 52. I bought the Avengers 52 comic that has only the common. That was a secret drop. I bought one of these for $34.99 for 35 gems, but now it's already back at 47 gems. So yeah, we will see. If it goes lower, I buy another one. And then there's also this one here on Saturday, inspired by the many looks of Black Widow, as well as the next generation. This nesting doll is a must-have Marvel digital collectible. So apparently it's a Marvel collectible. This is like the Russian Madyoshkas, right? I don't know if collectors are into this stuff. I personally don't care too much. Let's see how the price point looks. In a couple of seconds, we also have to talk about whale accumulation in Veve, because it's still going on. So here we see the doll. Let's see. So yeah, the price is 30, and there are 2,000 of them. it's only one collectible, so it looks like several, but it's actually only one that disassembles into 5 total. Yeah, I'm not, full transparency, I'm not going for this. I don't care about this one at all. I think it's not appealing to me, but there must be, maybe there are Marvel Madioshka collectors or something that are going crazy about this. Who knows? But 2,000 seems to be too much of this collectible to me. Yeah. So there's a pen rocket. So let's quickly look at this. So this is interesting, absolutely interesting in my opinion. This is the wallet distribution here for the wallet growth, right? And what we always had seen before was this wallet growth type, right? Jumps of wallets on specific drops, and now we see very little movement. It looks like we have reached somewhat of a consolidation here. I don't know if this is because there are no like drops that attract new collectors like Lamborghinis and whatnot, and Astro Boy and stuff like that that attract collectors that we did not have before, or what the reason is. But we have actually been seeing a chain of a little bit of a correction and then coming back to that level, and then since September 12th, like since 10 days, we're more or less maintaining the same level of users. So very, very interesting development here on the entire wallet use. JKRB, hey PH, hey, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Then let's talk also whale accumulation by the great visibility here by the great VVX tracker from Vevefox. So she has built this tracker. I know that they're building another website, so maybe we can. Why is there? So I see this only right now. Someone commented, and I cannot see it in my internal chat here. So someone commented. Let me just get this. BlackRock is buying up all the Bitcoin miners as well as trying to launch ETFs. Some worry they want to control Bitcoin like they control the stock market, along with Vanguard and State Street. So if I did not see your comments of one or two of you, that's apparently why. So in my chat, I don't see it in my internal system. I only see it here on my screen. Yeah, that's very true. BlackRock is buying Bitcoin miners. They're buying everything. It's like a strategy that Warren Buffett also had or also did. It's buying gold miners when they were selling gold to the people, so that the profits on the gold miners go directly into his shares and into dividends. Let's quickly get rid of all of this just to see this here. Yeah, Jordan says he can also not see it in the chat, which is absolutely weird, but I can see it. Wait, is that? Let me just check one thing. What's the name? What's his name? Yeah, it's Crazy Dan. So I see some other messages of Crazy Dan, but I cannot see this one. Why? Maybe. Yeah, so look at this. This is super weird. Anyways, let's just quickly get this out of the way. So here we see Bezosman is now. You have to see this. Bezosman is now 10,000 collectibles above Dr. Profit. In fact, 10,300 collectibles above Dr. Profit. He has been accumulating 1,000 collectibles in the last 7 days. This guy is absolutely not stopping. In fact, he's just continuing to accumulate and accumulate. But the rest of the whales are also slowly but surely accumulating. So, for example, Dr. Profit has bought one, but here we see 11, 44. This is actually funny. It's all like clean numbers, like these luck numbers, right? 11, 44, 33. Anyways, and then we see here 23, 95, 152. So here we see a lot of wallets climbing up into the upper ranks. Machankura is here. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Sorry, the cam is just off that so that you can see all the statistics here. But overall, we see whale wallets, bigger wallets are still heavily accumulating. Where's the wallet that was selling? So that one is still selling. That one is still selling. It's selling since months, right? This had over 12,000 collectibles still selling, but not as much anymore as before. And we see there are also purchases going on still on this wallet. So I think this is a huge rebalancing of the portfolio. I believe, but we will see. If it goes out of the top 100, then I was wrong. But this wallet has now been relatively steady here around in the top 30. I think it's a rebalancing, to be honest. Yeah, but let's see. So Bezosman, it's always interesting what this guy is buying. So we have the whale addresses, and this is the most interesting one. So the last purchases of Bezosman are 1 hour ago and involve Donald Duck, Golden Moment Simba, some Ultraman posters, comics as always, a ton of them. So yesterday I checked also he did buy this. Andrew says, before the stream is over, just wanted to say thanks for another great stream. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your vacation time. Hey, thank you so much for that feedback. I hope you guys like the stream. So if you do, then also smash up the like button. But I really love this feedback. It keeps me motivated to do the streams. And yeah, I think we already built such a great community. We are going to get more and more people into this community here. And as long as you guys like the stream, I will keep doing these streams, and we will see how this channel does, how this community does in the next bull market. And I'm so excited to see all of you guys like going into crazy gains on Veve, on Ecomi, on crypto. This will be absolutely amazing, or absolutely insane. So thank you for your wishes for the vacation. Actually, today we are going on the road to some other places in Europe. So this is just, I needed to get this stream out and talk a little bit about what is going on in crypto today. So yeah, that's the reason. But thank you so much, Andrew. As you see here, so Bezosman he's building his comic store, right? Older comics, newer comics, nothing too special. I saw him buying some secret rares again. Also, maybe we can see some here. Here's, I think this is a secret rare, for example, that he bought of this Hulk. But there's no, as we saw before, there's no real line here. There's no real, I collect this specific stuff. So it really seems that this is a whale sweeping floors. This is a whale sweeping floors and then reselling the stuff once prices come back to other people. So this guy or company, or I don't know what it is, has high conviction, right? Also accumulation. As I said before, this person is going really smart. This person or entity is always trying to not pump prices. So for example, you see here 5 hours ago he bought 2 Donald Duck, right? And then 1 hour ago he bought another one. They are not going and buying like 20, 30 of this and pump the price into oblivion. This is yeah, so even Electra, look at this, it's even buying tons of Electra. This is just buying up everything, Snow Globe, a lot of Marvel Mighties, Silver Surfer, Oscar, and then always this Ultimate Fantastic Four comic. Seems to be there seems to be a baseline level where here. This is a secret rare as well. This was a day ago. This was what I saw. 2 secret rares of this werewolf comic. So yeah, they have some parameters and they just buy whenever price drops below this apparently. I mean, could this be Veve buying back collectibles? I don't know. Probably not, because probably this is illegal. But is it out of the cards? I don't know. Just we have to raise this question, right? Because of the non-linear, or because of this too completely agnostic approach to the collectibles, right? I mean, everyone who buys these quantities of Electra is suspicious. let's just put it in these words. But honestly, even then, even if this is the case, it doesn't matter, because that probably means that this is more likely than not than a lockup of all those collectibles, and makes it more scarce if you hold them. So in the end, it doesn't matter. But I don't think so. I think this is a whale, and I think we have been used to have Dr. Profit and others as the whale, or as a whale. Like, look at this. We have these other guys with 10,000 and 15,000 and so on, and then outside of the top 20, we have like 6,000 collectibles, right? We are used to call and consider these guys whales, but in fact, if you look out into the market and what is there in terms of money and crypto whales, none of these guys except Dr. Profit and Bezos, man, are probably real whales, right? None of these, except maybe Dr. Profit and Bezos, would be fit in this real category. Now, there will be people in this market that look at Ecomi and say, or that look at Veve and say, look, this could be a very early investment opportunity. So I expect before the NFT run comes back, and we have talked about this in the last stream. So on Monday? On Monday's stream, we have talked about this. If you haven't seen it yet, really highly recommended to watch. When the certain phases will come back, I think we will see more of these guys coming in before the NFT run, because these guys, they want to fill their bags on low prices and then sell to the other ones that then will be the new bag holders into the next bear market on Veve. I think whenever there's money to make, these guys will come in and do that. They will fill up their bags, build their bags to dump on everyone else, and then we need to be ready to take profit on even on our Veve bags, right? Unless you are really only there to look at some collectibles in showroom and the metaverse, but there will be always some collectibles that you will be able to take profit on then. Anyways, for me, that is it. That was my last word for today's stream. I hope you liked the stream. On your way out, please make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, tick the little bell to always get notified, and let me know in the comments below after the stream what you think about all of this. If you haven't catch the stream, if you didn't catch the stream live, then please let me know in the comments below what you think about all of that. And yes, I will be traveling, but anyways, on weekends there is no morning coffee stream, so probably the next crypto morning stream is somewhere on Tuesday, because I will be traveling around on then. I will take my notebook with me just in case something absolutely crazy and massive is happening, so that I can go live in case. But probably we will see some very low volatility, some boring price action. And now that is it. So wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Enjoy your coffees if you have them, and I see you in the